Going on, everybody? It's Stas here, and oh boy, this week in the stock market is going to be a roller coaster ride. We have the Fed meeting coming up. We have the October jobs report coming up. We also have a bunch of other companies set to report earnings. And am I forgetting something? Wait. We have the election coming up as well here on Tuesday, which is going to make things a lot more hectic. So in this video, we're going to be talking more about the stock market, breaking down some technicals, going over a bunch of stocks here that I'm looking to buy this week and in the next couple of weeks here. And I also want to break down the futures market to see kind of what's the sentiment looking like here as we're inching closer and closer to the election day, which again, at this point is under 48 to 72 hours away, which is unbelievable. So if you guys find value in the video, hit the like button, make sure to subscribe to the channel, and check out the Strive Smart Discord chat, Strive Smart Facebook group, link down below. Those are free to join. And you can also follow me on Instagram at StasSurfS and on Twitter. And also check out the free links also down below to get some free stocks if you guys are interested. So let's talk about it. Let's get into it, guys. I'm personally super amped up. I don't know if you can tell. I'm drinking my coffee here at 7:45 p.m. filming this video, so sorry if it's up a bit late. Better late than never, right? And I'm amped up for this upcoming week. So last week we saw a big decline in the markets, right? In anticipation of earnings, with the CV as well spiking up, record cases in a day here in the U.S. We have the European lockdowns in several separate countries, right? Which is spooking out the U.S., right? And the U.S. markets, because we might see lockdowns here in the next couple of weeks again. Who knows, guys, right? So that ended up shooting down the markets. S&P went from 3440 on last Monday, down to the lows of 3230 on Friday. That's a drop of over 200 points, about 6% of a drop, right? Which is unbelievable. And I believe the Dow Jones had its worst day since, I forget, months ago, right? So the markets had a big drop. Dow went from 28,200 to about 26,200. NASDAQ 100 went from about 11,700 down to under 11,000, which is a big drop in the NASDAQ 100. Let's take a look here at what that is on a percentage basis, about 5 to 6%, same as the S&P. So the markets are taking a hit, right? And pulling back on the S&P here, 4-hour chart, to get a bigger perspective, right, on more of a larger time frame, what we can see here is S&P is at a big critical support, right around 3230. We've been talking about this for a couple weeks here on the channel. That is actually the September low at the end of September, middle to end of September. That is actually where we bottomed out on the S&P and saw that nice little recovery heading into the middle of October. So it is very imperative for the S&P, at least from the bullish perspective, right, to hold 3230, right? If the bulls fail to hold this and we gap down, like I said last week, I'm going to say it again, S&P could be going to 3150. That's the next big level of support I'm seeing here. And then under that, let's say we get some sort of election-related crash, right? Who knows, right? Let's play hypothetically here, hypothetical game. Let's say we break 3150 in the coming weeks. We might be going low 3,000, 3050, 3,100. And quite honestly, guys, I don't see the S&P going much lower than that. And again, I'm not some genie, right? I don't have a crystal ball, but I don't really see it going much under 3,000, because take a look. I mean, if we fall from 3,500 to 3,000, that is a nice correction in the S&P, right? That would be around a 15% drop from the top to the bottom, if it were to bottom at about 3,000. So, guys, I mean, watch 3230 this week, also 3150, and then if 3150 breaks, watch low 3,000s. And the lower and lower it gets from a long-term investor's perspective, again, guys, I'm a long-term investor and a short-term trader, right? So if I put my long-term investor hat on and we're down 15, 20% from the peak, I'm going to be buying that all day, right, in terms of my long-term positions. And when it comes down to my trades, it's a bit of a different different story, but make sure to subscribe to the channel to keep up with the daily updates so you guys can see what I'm doing in my analysis throughout the day. So overall, guys, markets are getting hit. There's a lot of uncertainty right now. That's the key word here, uncertainty. The market hates that, right? And the futures are down a decent chunk. S&P futures are down 13 points, down about 0.4%. NASDAQ futures are down 0.4% as well, down about 43 points. And the Dow futures are down 120 points, down about 0.45%. So what that's telling me is, and by the way, guys, the futures can always flip-flop. I mention that all the time when I talk about futures. But at this point that they're down, what it's telling me is that the uncertainty is continuing. The fear is continuing, and we're obviously selling off. And this could easily bleed into tomorrow, which is why it's very important to watch the futures pre-market and all throughout the morning, quite honestly, until the morning bell. And then take a look at what large cap stocks are doing pre-market and in the morning, as those obviously have a big weight on the overall market. So at this point, guys, futures are down. The market last week got hit. And this week, again, like I said, the elephant in the room, we obviously have an election, right? That's no secret. But what you might not know, we also have a Fed meeting. The Federal Open Market Committee is set to hold the first of its two-day rate-setting meeting the day after Election Day, so Wednesday. And a monetary policy statement and press conference from Federal Reserve Chairman Mr. Money Printer himself, Jerome Powell, is set to follow on Thursday. So Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, we're going to have a nice little, Federal Reserve, a couple of days there, and so they can set policy and so forth. And as with the past several months worth of meetings, the FOMC is virtually guaranteed to keep the benchmark interest rates unchanged near zero as the central bank works to continue providing support to the virus-stricken economy. In fact, after their last meeting in September, central bank officials signaled that interest rates would likely remain at their current band at least through the end of 2023, meaning they're going to be near zero until the end of 2023, which is another couple of years, guys. That is unbelievable. And we also have the October jobs report numbers. These are actually set to come out on Friday from the Department of Labor, and this is going to be a big piece of data so we can see, hey, how's the economy doing? I mean, non-farm payrolls are expected to have risen by 600,000 in October, so that's the estimation at this point, according to Bloomberg consensus data as of Friday. And while this sounds pretty solid, this would be the sixth straight month of net payroll gains. That's good, right? But it would be also the fourth straight month of decelerations in jobs added back to the economy. So if you guys remember, we got a big pop in the jobs numbers back in May, I believe, May and June. It was a couple million. And ever since then, it's the jobs have been positive, right, that have been added to the economy, but they've been going lower and lower every month. So this month, we're expected again 600,000. And back in September last month, we had 661,000. So you guys can see the deceleration there. So for this week, obviously, I'm watching election, of course, guys. That's going to be a huge event. It's going to be pushing the markets up and down. And again, I'm also watching and keeping my eyes on Jerome Powell, the Fed meeting, and the October jobs report numbers. These are key numbers, right? And last week we got GDP, which if I pull up my notes from Friday's video, it was around a 33.1% annualized growth in the third quarter, which divided by 4, that gives you the quarterly growth, which is not too bad. So there's a lot going on, guys, a lot going on. So let me know your thoughts down below in the comments. And now let's talk about some stocks. We have more earnings coming up this week. Of course, last week was, I guess you could argue, I mean, it's not really arguable. It's a fact. Last week we had the biggest companies report. Amazon, Facebook, Apple, Google, Microsoft, they all reported. And this week we have PayPal. We have PYPL. This is one that I personally own in my long-term account. And like other stocks, it's been falling. It's down about $30 from its high here, from 215 down to about 185. And if I extend this little line here, you guys can see we're actually right around an old resistance from back in the beginning of July, right? And that actually extended all the way throughout July. We had a big resistance at 185. So I'm thinking if we end up holding 185, we might be able to see some sort of relief rally here on PayPal. And quite honestly, if it holds 185, I don't know if it's going to go back up to 200, 215. I mean, nobody knows, but we might be trading horizontally as we have been pretty much ever since the end of July. We've been trading between 185 to about 215. So I like this setup right here, especially if we're able to hold 185. And again, they're reporting earnings tomorrow on the 2nd of November. So I'm probably going to wait until after that, maybe Tuesday, to catch some potential price action there if it's in my favor. Again, if it's over 185. So I'm watching out for PayPal here. It's a bit oversold. Earnings are coming up. It could be a play this week. And Alibaba as well, guys. Big Chinese company here. Ticker symbol BB, or not BB, BABA, guys. And this one's also down a good chunk, about $15 off its highs from 319 down to 304. And quite honestly, I can see it go down a little bit more. If the markets sell off tomorrow, Alibaba, if it gets down to low 290s, mid 290s, that could be a spot worth looking at. And I'm going to highlight it here for you guys. Take a look. If we're able to get to that 290 level, hey, this could be a dip buy. That's right around where the 4-hour 180 SMA is. That has proven to be a support over the past couple of months as Alibaba has been recovering. So if we continue the uptrend by holding that, that could be a dip buy. And they also report earnings this week on the 5th. So what day is that? That's probably Thursday, right? So Thursday they're reporting earnings. And yeah, we might see even a rally before earnings. So I'm watching Baba. I'm also watching Square. When's Square reporting? That's the question. Probably this week too. Yeah, this week, guys. Square's reporting. So Square's also on the 5th, right? And Square's been decimated, right? I think who came out with a competition to Square, which is kind of selling it off here. Was that Google or something? It's slipping my head here. But overall, Square's been taking a hit. Although a lot of big banks have been upgrading their price. You see Deutsche Bank from 180 to 215. KeyBank went from 165 to 215. So there's rising competition for Square, no doubt about it. But I think they're going to get through it. Honestly, I own them. I like the stock. And overall, I mean, we're getting to oversold territory. Let me extend this to the right for you all. You can see here, I mean, if 156 is able to hold 155, I can see Square have a mini relief rally, maybe from 155, maybe back up to 165 to 170 to the higher side, maybe 170, guys. So look out for a potential relief rally here, maybe heading into earnings, which again is on the 5th. And if we have the markets go green this week, which honestly it's anybody's guess what's going to happen, but if that happens, that's likely going to help a lot of these large cap stocks to have those relief rallies, right? So Square could see that pop mid 160s to low 170s, right? So I'm watching Square. Also, we have Uber reporting earnings this week. Uber, UBWR, guys. I'm messing up my tickers today. UBER. This one is not looking too attractive, technically speaking, right? We broke a big support this past week, at about $34.50, $35. We're now trading in the mid 33s. So, I mean, honestly, at this point, with earnings coming up on the 5th, I probably wouldn't touch Uber until after earnings and until, quite honestly, it breaks the main moving averages here on the 4-hour chart and that 35 level of resistance. I think 35 needs to break, and then from there, we might have some upside, maybe up to $38, maybe even higher. I mean, if 38 breaks, that's been a big sticking point for months. Uber could be seeing $40 per share for the first time since pre-crisis, right? Back in the middle of February. And obviously it does depend on their earnings. I mean, if they just drop the ball completely, if earnings suck, right, they're gonna get crushed. And of course, the whole ordeal over there in California, prop, what is it? Prop 21 or 22. I haven't been doing too much research into it, but I've been seeing the headlines. Uber is just, it's in an interesting spot. Let's just put it that way. And earnings coming up, it could be a volatile play here, up and down. We might get a little day trade, swing trade, day or two. Who knows, right? So I'm watching Uber, and I'm also watching pizza stock, guys, also known as PZZA. And this is Papa John's. Who doesn't like good old Papa John's? I mean, personally, I'm a Domino's guy. If I get pizza, mostly, guys, to be honest, I haven't been getting pizza lately, and if I do, I go to some local shop where I live. But if I were to get one of these big pizza chains, I'd probably go Domino's. That's just me, but hey, who cares at the end of the day, right? We have pizza reporting this week, PZZA, and it's in a weird spot. I mean, we're down a good chunk, guys. $30 off the all-time high at 103. That's a pretty big drop. I mean, that's about a 25% drop, and we're approaching a big level of support. I mean, we're already there at about 76, 77 bucks. This is where we held back all of May into June and a little bit into July. So if we're able to somehow turn out of this downtrend on a decent earnings report and get out of, let's say, $80, $85, that could be a breakout on PZZA. But again, earnings are coming up on the 5th, right? So a bunch of companies are reporting on the 5th, and I'm probably going to wait because overall we haven't gotten confirmation of the breakout yet, and the last thing I want to do is get in while it's still downtrending with the risk of it going lower, right? So what are your guys' thoughts? Those are the main companies that I'm looking at this week that are reporting earnings. So let me know your thoughts down below in the comments. I would love to know what you guys are thinking. And if you all find value, if you've been finding value in the video, make sure to hit that like button for me. It really helps me out. And also consider subscribing to the channel. We're trying to get 25,000 subscribers here. That's the next big milestone for the community, guys. So let's take a look at some other stocks. We have McDonald's, MCD. This is one that I'm liking more and more the closer it gets to 200 bucks, right? This is one that's been doing very well, throughout this whole recovery. McDonald's has gone from 125 up to about 230, and it's finally been cooling off, rightfully so, right? It's needed this cool off, and that drop from 230 to where it is now, it's about a 10% drop. And since we haven't really seen the full out confirmation of a breakout quite yet, I still think there's more downside. I think McDonald's possibly could be going to 200. And like I said, the closer to 200 it gets, the more attractive of a swing trade that it becomes to me. So earnings are coming up here on the 9th. So that's actually next week. What's that? Next Monday. So 1 week from tomorrow, McDonald's is going to be reporting. So that could be interesting, on a continuation play here. And now that I look at it, I just extended that uptrend. If 210 even holds, that could be a good entry point, right? If we're able to hold 210 and rip out above 216 and 218, this could be an opportunity here on McDonald's. And I'm also watching, I don't know why I have Square here again, but yeah, we already talked about Square, but the next one after that is going to be Starbucks, guys, SBUX, and this is it's looking like an ascending triangle to me, right? Big wall at about 89, 90 bucks, big resistance, and we're also uptrending right into that resistance. And by the way, guys, I actually made a swing trading video on Saturday. I've gotten some good feedback from it, going over some tricks and tips. I don't want to say secrets because there's no really secrets out there, right? But if you guys want to see a more in-depth swing trading video, it's about 18 minutes. I'll link that down below. Make sure to go check that out. So ascending triangle here on Starbucks, right? I'm thinking if 86, 87 is able to hold and we get a breakout above 88, 89, I think this could be off to the races. I think, and honestly, I think it could get to over $90, $95 per share. That's where I think Starbucks is headed. I've been buying it since 70 bucks. You guys have seen that in my M1 Finance portfolio updates, right? So Starbucks, I'm completely bullish on this particular company. And we also have NEO, guys. Don't forget about NEO. There's not a video that goes by that we don't talk about NEO, guys, because this stock is unbelievable. Last week, we saw it go up 16% in a day. Now we're seeing it cool off a bit. And quite honestly, like I've said before, I can see this thing cool off maybe to the high 20s, like 29, 28-ish, right? Maybe even $30, although we're pretty much at $30 now. I could see it cool off a little bit before another leg up. So I'm not rushing into NEO quite yet, knowing that it is a bit overbought, guys. Let's be honest. It is a bit overbought. But the second we get a pull down and get anywhere to maybe even 26, 27, 28, if that even happens, if it gets down there, that is where I'd like to start maybe building a position. So I'm looking at NEO as well. And we forgot to talk about the silver and gold futures, but honestly, guys, I'm looking at precious metals this week. Silver is down about 12 cents right now. The futures are down about 0.5%. And this has been crushed recently, guys. Past couple weeks, months, silver, gold have been crushed. I mean, silver's gone from 29, almost 30 an ounce, now down to about 23. And you guys can see we're holding this little wedge. I mean, this is going to break out either up or down. I mean, direction is going to be picked this week, next week. It's coming, guys. So if we end up popping out of these main moving averages here on the 4-hour chart on silver, maybe in the fear of the election, everything going on, people might want to move more to precious metals, right? If we get that breakout on silver, I'm definitely going to pick up some SLV. SLV is an ETF that goes up simply when silver goes up. It tracks the price of silver. And you guys can see there's a lot of upside here on SLV, so I might even buy some call options. Who knows? This is one that I'm quite bullish on. I'll be honest. I'm quite bullish on the metals right now. So silver, SLV, those are my favorite ones. And I also like gold. But honestly, guys, I'm being transparent. And you guys have seen my gold video in the past. I have a good amount of physical gold already. I have a good amount of gold for my portfolio at least, right? And I don't have much silver, which is why I'm leaning a little bit more towards silver right now, because I already have my gold. And gold at this point has also been beaten down. So the futures are down about 0.2%. And we're also under main moving averages here on the 4-hour chart. You guys can see it. So once we get a breakout, if we get a breakout, I'm going to be watching GLD. GLD is an ETF kind of like SLV, but the only difference is, guys, it tracks the price of gold instead of silver. So GLD, if we get that breakout on gold, I'm going to be looking at GLD. And I mean, guys, take a look at this. It's been in this downwards channel ever since the beginning of August, so it's getting ready to rip out. And I think if 178 breaks, I can see this thing go up mid-180s. I can see that 4% move happen like this. So I'm watching precious metals. I'm bullish, guys, on gold, silver, and Bitcoin. Honestly, I don't talk about Bitcoin much, but I also own a little bit of Bitcoin here. And GBTC is a way that you can trade Bitcoin in the markets if you guys are interested. The Grayscale Bitcoin Trust, this is a way that you can buy in and out of crypto Bitcoin on the market. So, yeah, I mean, those are the main ones I'm watching this week, guys. We talked about PayPal, Baba, Square, Uber, Papa John's, McDonald's, Starbucks, SLV, GLD. And I'm also watching big tech, right? Big tech, I'm watching Facebook. Facebook got hit pretty hard on a pretty decent earnings report, solid one at that. So maybe a recovery play here on Facebook from 260 back up to 280, 300. Google is not really in a recovery play situation since it ran up so much after earnings. So I'm not really looking to get into Google. But now that I'm looking at it, hey, maybe if it breaks 1640, maybe we can run up to 1700. Who knows? So I'm looking at that. And Amazon, like I said, and I'll say it again, Amazon, the closer it gets to 3,000 and under 3,000, the more attractive in my eyes it is. So I'm looking for a bounce back on Amazon and Apple. I'm already in it pretty heavily. This is one of my bigger swing trades. So needless to say, I'm bullish on that one as well. So we'll wrap it up there, guys. Like I said, get ready for the roller coaster ride. It's going to be epic this week. Let me know your thoughts down below in the comments. What are your thoughts on the market? Are you buying? Are you selling? Are you sitting on cash? And if you guys enjoyed the video, make sure to hit the like button, subscribe to the channel, follow me on Instagram at StasSurfS and on Twitter at StasSurfS, and join our Strive Smart Discord chat and Facebook group. They're free of charge to join. And if you guys want some free stocks, check out the links also down below in the description box. So I'll catch you all in the next video. Stay safe out there, guys. Get ready. It's going to be crazy. Thanks for watching as always. I really appreciate you guys. Peace out.